I just wanted to put together this quick demo of the taper chair for you, and might make it a little bit easier for you to present to your client. So first of all, the name, as it suggests, the taper chair, you can see how the back tapers from bottom to top, which allows for freedom of movement when you're sitting in a chair. And also the seat and back, you notice, are both very thin, very slim, and that's due to the suspension in the back and the very sophisticated seat suspension underneath, which we call the super seat. This was developed after a couple of years of research and pressure mapping to allow users to sit for the longest period of time and have their weight dispersed throughout the seat, so they didn't feel the need to get up, and they could sit comfortably for long periods of time. Another advantage of the taper is the fact that in a conference room, it doesn't visually overwhelm the room. Most conference chairs, meeting chairs, historically have been very overstuffed with foam in order to compensate for that pressure buildup that I talked about. And so this is a nice way to take some of these a little bit smaller huddle rooms and conference rooms and keep the scale very nice and light. Upholstery, you can see, very beautiful. It's available with a contrasting stitch as well, if the client prefers, or matching as you see it here. The arms can have a self-skin black urethane pad, or they could be matching leather depending on how you want to specify them. Finishes, metal finishes, are available in polished aluminum, as you see here, and a really attractive graphite color, not quite black, just a very nice, very subtle tone that sort of disappears in the space. All right, let's get to the real crux of the issue here. What's really different about this chair, the most important difference, is in the control mechanism. This control mechanism, known as the harmonic tilt, is probably the most successful seating control ever developed. And the reason is that it's very unusual in that it allows users, from petite gymnasts to defensive ends, to experience the full range of motion of the chair and have exactly the same experience. And the way it does that is by not using a traditional coil spring in the inside that gets tightened way up high for heavier body mass users, but instead it uses two flat polycarbonate straps in the control, and like a teeter-totter, it moves a fulcrum under those straps in order to change the rate of the spring for every user. So it really tailors the chair to every user, and they are allowed then to have the full range of travel. And when they sit in the chair, they also, once it's adjusted, they're able to find the range that's very comfortable to allow them to recline without having to force the chair back and without having to do core exercises to keep from coming up and out of the chair. We call that dwell in the control. So everyone can find their dwell spot in this control, and that's a really unusual thing. So very nice, super comfortable. I can recline, I can stop anywhere along this travel and feel comfortable, feel like I'm not having to hold that position. And when I want to come forward, I just come forward. Okay. So another thing, it's nice while I'm seated here, is that on the left-hand side of the chair, you have the mini taper. So this is a replica of the back of the chair and then the seat of the chair. And this is how you control a couple of different things. First is in the recline, this back control, I'm gonna lean back slightly and actuate the control. And then this allows me to set different recline travel limits for the chair. So there are a couple of different positions that allow me to either lock it in the forward position, the three different stops, locked forward, or I can release this into 1, 2, 3 different rates of recline. So I can go all the way back, or I could stop and limit the travel. But again, those things are not super, it's probably not as important to feature in this chair, because the control does, once you adjust it, once you rebalance the control for you, you really don't need to limit that, but it does allow that. And one nice feature about it also is that in this chair, it allows you to change your posture through the day. So if you're doing a lot of keyboard work, or you're editing drawings or spreadsheets, or you've got a big report to do and you're really at your desk a lot of the time, you can, again, lean back to actuate the control and then tip the seat paddle down, and that brings the seat forward about 5.5 degrees. So you can see how my posture is completely changed. When I do this, I like to lock the back all the way in the forward position, because it's coming up to provide me with sacral support here. while I'm in this forward position. But it's a really nice way to change your posture through the day. Sit this way for 20 minutes, and then when you want to change it, actuate that again, and then bring the seat back to the neutral position. So it gives you a lot of choice for how you manage your posture throughout the day, and that's an important thing. And then, occasionally you are going to get up and down, but it's not because you're uncomfortable or because you've cut off your circulation somehow in the chair. You see there's plenty of space here. The way the back also the seat also tapers down and prevents pressure from the back of your legs, your knees, what's known as the popliteal crease, which is where you have a lot of blood flow. So seats that are too deep or that are too thick and squared off oftentimes provide too much pressure here, and they cut the circulation off to your lower extremities. You feel your feet get cold, they tingle or they go numb, and you feel like you have the need to get up. So this is a real sheep in wolf's clothing, and it's not an executive chair per se. It won the Best of Neocon award when it was introduced. It's a task chair, as a task chair. So that's it. Fantastic chair, beautiful upholstered in fabric as well, and conference, private office, huddle rooms, you name it. Good luck.